Big Mama knows that you're short on time, so I have a skillet lasagna here that could be done in no time at all. For me, the meat is what separates a skillet lasagna from just a regular old spaghetti. I'm going in with some ground beef and some spicy sausage. And yes, you could use these as spaghetti, but that's not the point. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna start cooking down both of these meats in the pan. And I'm struggling a little bit here, but I'm gonna make sure I'm pressing down the meat so that I can get some color on one side. I learned this from a chef a long time ago. I don't even know who, but it has made such a difference. Like usually, like you just get the meat in the pan and you just kind of start scrambling away at it, but like really pressing that meat in and letting it get a lot of color on one side before you start to really like cook it all the way through and like grind it up, it really does make such a flavor boost that I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be subtle, but no, you can really taste that color that gets on the meat. So I try to get at least a little bit, like you can see here. Try to get at least a little bit before I start trying to like cook it up. It just depends on how long do I feel like standing here, really. So I put some frozen bell peppers and onions in here, but it was really frozen. So I'm trying to let that melt a little bit. And you know, I always say you gotta season in layers. So I've added a little bit of all-purpose seasoning to this, and I'm gonna go in with some garlic powder as well to start seasoning this off. I have some Italian seasoning in here I never use. I just decided to try using it today, and I made a freaking mess. Like, look at all this freaking seasoning in here. I didn't know what to do with it, so I was like, you know what, you just got to rock with it, sister, because what are you gonna do? Okay, we're not throwing this away, so we're just gonna have Italian seasoning going on in here. First, the seasoning wanted to embarrass me, and then come in with this peppers and onions, trying to show its behind. So I had to go in and chop away at it so I can get it cooked down with the rest of the meat. So I broke it down a bit more to like smaller chunks so it can melt, and then I grinded it up. And I was okay, it's not even enough. I gotta go in and open a whole new bag. Y'all know I love my frozen vegetables, especially this fajita blend. I would say this is the package of vegetables I buy the most. I know fajita is like, you're thinking about it's gonna be a lot of seasoning. It's not. It's literally just frozen peppers and onions, and I use that as the base of a lot of dishes. So that's why I keep getting it. Anyways, get some of your fat out the pan. Honestly, I've been trying not to use napkins and paper towels, so it's like I'm doing this, but I didn't get all the fat because I would have had to use more paper towels than I had, and I was not gonna lift up this big old cast iron. So yeah, my secret ingredient here is gonna be this tomato bouillon, which I have been using a lot more lately. It's actually really good, and no, it doesn't like give it too much of a chickeny flavor. This does give like more of a tomatoey flavor. So I'm gonna add this to my meat as it's cooking, and we're just gonna keep cooking it down. And this sauce was on sale, so we're gonna try this one out. This Yo Mama, I think it said, brand. And we're gonna see how we like this one today. I know that the other one everyone was liking, it just got bought up by a corporation, and I hadn't even tried it yet. I just never got around to it. But then when it got bought up by that corporation, everybody's like, oh no, it changed. I'm like, all right, I'm not even gonna try it then. I don't know, like what is a good spaghetti sauce recipe that's not gonna take me 10 years? Because I would prefer to make something like that from scratch, but it's just like, how do you make spaghetti sauce quickly? Is it gonna be a 10-hour process, and then I'm gonna have to like can and freeze it? Because I don't know how to can, and I have the world's smallest freezer. So help me out with that in the comments. Anyway, add a little sugar to offset the acidity from the tomatoes. It's called balance. And then you add some salt for seasoning, enhancing flavor. Okay, we're gonna do this every time because I get so many hate comments about how I season food, or even when I try to explain it, it's somebody like, no, that's just nasty. It's about creating harmony. Seasoning food is about creating harmony. Okay, so yeah, I have my oven ready noodles, and I broke those up, and I'm going to like push them down into the sauce here so that they can get covered and like saturated by something with it, not just like hard noodles sitting at the top. We want them to get in the sauce so that they can cook a bit. That's why we got this particular type of noodle. And I did feel like I needed a little bit more water in here because I'm going to want this to cook down some. So I added the water so I didn't start burning up the food. And I don't know who told me that this lid would fit. I didn't think about this beforehand. I have my biggest cast iron and it does not have a lid, so I just happen to have this pizza tray and it fit. But then I was like, how the heck I'm gonna get this thing off? Embarrassing me again. Oh my goodness. So I finally got it off, and here we have some very delicious looking lasagna in the skillet. Okay, but you see how it's like a lot more meat in here than you would usually have for spaghetti. Maybe you make your spaghetti different, but I don't put a lot of meat in my spaghetti like this. So now I'm gonna go in and embarrass myself by burning my hand while trying to take this thing off again so that I can add some cheese. I do not like ricotta cheese. I have tried to like ricotta cheese for the fact of just making dishes more traditional. I don't like it. So I get my base creaminess from just Kraft singles because they melt the best. Okay, I know it's not real cheese, I get it, I know, but it melts so good. And this isn't the only one I'm using, but I do think you just need like to make the sauce creamier and then you add cheese on top. Does that make sense? Like, I want to separate it, you know? So the Kraft singles are just there to just like enhance the sauce cheesiness. And once it, look, you can't even see it when it melts down. Like, it's so little cheese in that sauce. And then I'm going on with my layer of melty cheese, which is my mozzarella that I have rinsed to take that little coating off so that it melts better. So I'm going to put this all around the top. And then we're going to cover this and let it melt again so that we can have like that nice bubbly gooey layer of cheese. If you can lift a pan this big, you could put this in the oven and let it get really bubbly. That was just not my ministry at this moment. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. So now you have dinner done. That took less than 30 minutes. So make sure you follow along so you can get some more easy recipes so you can stop ordering that takeout. Okay, bye.